So it's Wednesday at the Düsseldorf International Boat Show. We've put out 510 videos for Mercury's platforms across the world. It's been a fabulous show. But before I head to the airport, I thought I'd give you a quick run through of a couple of halls. Obviously this show is massive, so I'm not going to be able to get through it all, but you can run with me for 10 minutes and we'll do some quick fire highlights of hall 3 and 4. So starting off, we have the Parker. This is the 780 Escape powered by a 250 V8, a fantastic family craft, award-winning no less, and built in the Polish yard by Parker themselves. Let's keep running through. So we're currently in hall 3. There's a number of different engine manufacturers here and different boat brands, and some new stuff as well that we haven't seen necessarily before. This end of the hall, we have the likes of Scarab, a heritage brand, now making water sports craft. We also have this new Virtue, which is like a 10-meter day boat, family craft, but also with the peat stepped hull design, so it handles really, really well. Then moving through, we've got some really interesting hull shapes in the forms of these different 23-foot, again, day boat sort of performance craft. A lot of flare to the bow, so we'll be giving lots of lift. And then, yes, like I've mentioned, we have the Scarab here, we have the Suzuki stand, and we have some river and inland waterway type craft as well. Moving to a heritage brand founded in 1955, we have the fabulous Wellcraft 355. This boat is the start of a whole new generation of Grand Tourers. Let me show you the back. This boat is powered by 3 L6 350 horsepower Verados. Pushes this boat to around about 52 knots. Handles brilliantly, has a really good hull, and a really nice fit out and finish inside. We then have a Wellcraft center console, one of their more offshore orientated boats, and powered with a couple of outboards. This is going to really be fantastic for your center console sports fishing needs. So we're going to run through. We have a boat here that I've seen at a show before, and to me, I don't know what you think, but it looks like a Saxdor and Axopar have mated together. So they've clearly taken some Nordic inspiration, but it's a nice fit out and finish. Behind it, we have Honda Marine, who have a display of various different craft with their VTEC range of outboards. And then we're going to head now towards Bayliner, Quicksilver, Sea Ray. These brands, Brunswick Group, the Quicksilver, they have a new sun deck, just under 9-meter weekender type style craft, and that's powered by the V10 400. So a nice package there. As we walk through, we've got a whole range of different craft in this hall. A lot of small independent manufacturers. Something that I missed as we were walking through past the Four-Wind stand, as you may be able to see just down there, we have the electric outboard by Vision Marine. The Vision Marine guys in America have absolutely been fantastic over the last couple of years and are spearheading their sector for the larger outboards, especially in America on electric. So it's really interesting to see what they come up with in the future. We have some nice looking aluminium craft here. I would say these are sort of inshore craft. Looking at the hull design, they've got quite a medium V, but for lakes and things like that, being aluminium construction, you'll be able to run them up and beach them, etc., and you won't be doing too much harm to yourself. As we've already mentioned, the Quicksilver range are here, built in Poland, running obviously Mercury power, Simrad GPSs, etc. The 905 wheelhouse makes a really nice craft. And again, we have more Quicksilver here, the 605, 555, other sort of family orientated boats. You've obviously seen a lot of Mercury content, so we don't need to go back onto the stand, but we have the V10, the V6, V8, and V12 there, and they're displaying also the Avator as well for the first time. You may have seen one of my reels with the little Hellwig, this little 3-meter tiny little boat, but they also have one with a 20 horsepower 4-stroke Mercury as well. It was great, and I think any sort of 10, 12-year-old child would love a go in one of those. This brings us to the all-new Sea Ray, this 210, finished in beautiful red finish with all-new interior. It has a new design language for Sea Ray. You've got a real nice wraparound windscreen. It's a little bit more dynamic and younger looking than their traditional style. Moving on, we will now make our way into Hall 4. So in Hall 4, we have a lot more of the bigger, larger Nordic brands and a whole cross-section of offshore-orientated boats and performance boats. We have the likes of Quaken, Nordstar, Sargo, Finmaster, Grandeza, Axopar, Brabus Marine. We also have new craft from Aquastar and people like that. So we'll go down and we'll have a look at these different boats. So the Düsseldorf International Boat Show is a massive event. So if you're used to something like the NEC, it's like that but on steroids. There's no way that you can really cover off on every single hall while having meaningful conversations with people in a day. It's just not possible. So if you're thinking of maybe coming to the event for the first time, spend a couple of days here to digest the size of it and be able to plan what you're going to be doing. We're coming past Finmaster, a Yamaha powered, fantastic day boat, Nordic design. It's a really, really good vessel, and the brand is available in the UK through idealboat.com. Neville and his team would look after you, and they make a real great alternative, especially to the rib market. We now are moving into even more of the Nordic style craft. So we have Aquador here with their 250 HT and their 300 HT on display for the first time with a V8 250 Verado. This is a really nice craft. It's just capable of just under 40 knots and has a younger design language than the Aquador previously. We've mentioned Nimbus. We did a live stream with Nimbus this morning. We have the W9 with a 350 V10, and we have the T11 with two V10 400s. That's going to make a really interesting boat, and it will be cool to see how the larger gear case of the V10 lifts that heavier hull, especially once you've got lots of kit and various different family members, etc. on board, full of fuel, water in the tanks, etc. If you're looking for a bit of a performance-y type day boat, then behind us we have Flipper, the 900 there with two 300 horsepower outboards is going to offer lots of performance for your day boating. Patrick Borsch is a famous German outfit as a dealer for Aquador, Paragon, Axopar, Brabus Marine. They've been doing live feeds through their little independent studio here. It's really nice to see dealers putting that effort in to translating information about the products to the customer base. There's a real party that always goes on at Brabus and Axopar. The new Brabus special edition craft launched here. Sorry, I'm just on the camera. So we have the Brabus special edition, and then through there we have a whole range of the 45, 28, 37. You've seen them now a few different times. If you want to have a look at the 45 with the aft cabin, that's on display here, and now will probably be out in the public domain, so you'll be able to get some information about that. Some other interesting boats here. Arxon are here with their two EXO-derived boats. We have a 28 and a 30, both with Mercury power, and they take that EXO platform but build it on steroids for the more hardcore adventurer. So they have beautiful interiors, a slightly harder wearing freeboard, that Mercury power. So these are good sort of expedition-esque style vessels. That moves us on to the brand that they're based upon, which is the XO. Aluminium with a fiberglass deck and wheelhouse. They've brought out their new Defender 8 with the twin 200 V6 Mercuries. They have a really busy stand of people, now represented in the UK by Ribeye. And an interesting thing which we've covered before, if you flip the screen over, we have Axopar here, but in partnership with Evoy. So I drove this boat in Cannes Yacht Show with a concept Evoy. They've now changed to their own cowling design. It's a neat boat that will do 25 miles at 25 knots. And there's a lot more to come out from Evoy in the future. Behind us, to kind of wrap up this section before going into the next hall, we have Saxdor here displaying their 320 in its two configurations. They also have the hard top of the smaller versions, both in soft top and fiberglass. Again, yeah, all Mercury power, Simrads, and again from a finished design built in Poland. Moving forward, you also then behind us have the X-Shore all electric, built out of recyclable materials, and Quarken. And then also an interesting boat, before we go into the other hall very quickly, is the Candela. The Candela is a hydrofoiling craft. You can see on the video it has a top speed of 30 knots, and this enables you to be able to fast charge it and head to the sea and take a lot of the vibration out of your loads. You can see that on the screen. You've got an aluminium like an Anutech, etc., running along on the sea. This enables you to have less fatigue, more enjoyment on water by using the foils. An interesting concept. So we're going to finish up by going into hall 5 and 7 very, very quickly. In here, in hall 4, you tend to have a lot of the sports boats, a lot of the medium size, up to about 50 feet of adventure type craft. I haven't even mentioned brands like Targa, Sargo, etc., that are all in here. We just simply don't have enough time to run through all the different brands. But there's a real good cross-section of a product here. We go past the Axopar stand, past the Brabus Shadow 300, based on the Axopar 25, but with a 300R and the Brabus finish. And then we can see quite a slick looking boat, the Stirk. It's got a sort of a modern forward wake bow, good steps, nice stainless work on the freeboard of the hull. However, I wonder how long that will last when you come a few times up to a dock. That nice stainless may start to not age so well, but it looks very pretty, certainly. Moving into hall 5, and this is where we're going to wrap up in hall 5. We have Bernico, the RX-10. I'm going to take a swig of water. But the RX-10 is one of the ribs here that is powered by the 400 V10s. It's built by Nico. This rib is capable of around about 75 knots. Features loads of cool tech, forged carbon bucket seats. You also have a wicked custom-built trailer. And then if you can bring the camera up, you will see a removable forged carbon steering wheel, and it has all the controls on it. It's a very, very Gucci, high-end, high-performance yacht tender / chase boat. We're going to now move this way, and we're going to go to Olympic ribs. Olympic ribs have a really great hull design and have a really good construction also. Can you give us a little wave for the camera? So the 30 SR is powered by 2 Mercury Verado outboards, has a really good T-top. And one thing I noticed about this the other day is I like the little features here that are real high quality, like the blue built into the T-top on the RGB color. It's a nice little feature. Opposite, we have the Lomac. I did a walkthrough on this the other day, the Gran Turismo 12. It's powered by 3 Mercury Verado V10s, the 350s. This is an awesome GT, it's in the name, and will cover huge distance with these engines. It's a joy to drive on the Lomac hulls. They're a great pedigree, so it's going to be really cool to see how this one handles with the V10s. We'll carry on. Olympic here are also displaying their larger craft, and Pirelli and others are putting on a really good show too. We'll go via this way and we'll finish off at Pirelli. So you've got Frauscher, Capelli, Pardo, D'Antonio, there's so many Sachs, lots of different brands in here. As I said, we can only cover off in a very small amount. But Skipper here, I mentioned them in my Miami show video, are a superb brand. They come with outboard power and also inboard, and have a huge speed, but also real good refinement on not only dialing the engines in, the ergonomics, the weight balance, the sea keeping of the boat, but Alex and his team designed beautiful craft that are a joy to drive. So they're represented in now America by Marine Connection, and if it's a boat that you're not familiar with, it's definitely worth checking out. The hull has lots of racing pedigree, and the speeds that they can achieve for a pleasure craft are awesome. They're in 90 odd mile an hour and are absolute joy to drive. So definitely something to come and check out. Talking about race pedigree, you not only have Skipper, but you also have Pirelli based on the Occhi Manifelt hulls. The decks are designed by Ted Manifelt with his father Occhi designing the hulls. And they're made by Techno Rib and then have a licensing agreement with Pirelli. I've driven the 50, not in this configuration, but as a just a solid T-top without the sides. On the 600s, it's an awesome boat. I've taken it in really big seas, and this thing really looks after you and is an absolute joy to drive. I absolutely love it. So to finish off, we have Sea Air. Now, they started off taking like Zodiacs and pimping them up, putting their foil system in, and they've now created and refined that product offering. So you can see here, we have a retractable fin that goes into the water, lifts the whole rib out. As you can see here on the spec sheet of the FT80, it creates really cool, easy planing speeds, great fuel consumption because the boat isn't dragging so much in the water, and obviously less fatigue on components because you're not hitting through the water. So that is a very quick roundup of a couple of hauls to at least give you a flavour of what Düsseldorf is all about.